All right, so it's gonna be another Sidney Crosby reaction video. This is gonna be why isn't Sidney Crosby Asian by Hockey Psychology. This is gonna be another breakdown, man. I think apparently he's what 37, 38. You know what? He sounds like the LeBron James of hockey. Like this sounds like something they would drop on LeBron. Why isn't LeBron Asian? So he sounds like the LeBron James, bro. Like literally hockey, bro. Would y'all consider him a Hall of Famer though? When he retires, would y'all consider him a Hall of Famer? Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know down in the comments if y'all consider him a Hall of Famer. I think
at 36
the way he would
years
talk
old,
about him though, I
most
feel
of the
like
game's great players
I feel like he
see
is
the
though.
unfortunate side effect of father time. The legs don't move the same they used to. The game gets too quick, and ultimately, your role on the team basically shrinks to support the young and elite talent.
Yeah, I can see
However,
that though.
that just has not
The
been
game
the
is
case
quicker
for Sidney
for
Crosby.
hockey.
At 36, there's a legitimate argument for him to be in the Hart Trophy conversation based on how he's carrying the Pittsburgh Penguins. When you look at his age, the team around him, and the wear and tear over his career, everything points towards him slowing down. Yet, he isn't. The guy is getting better with age, and he's on
Yo,
pace
if my
to have
eyes
the
look
most
red,
productive offensive seasons of his career.
sleepy man.
This
Good.
shouldn't be possible when you look at how fast, talented, and young the NHL has become. But when you take a deeper look into the game of this generation's greatest player, it makes sense why Sidney Crosby appears as if he's not even aging. It's no secret. The NHL has become a young man's game. Speed and transition offense are essentials to have success, and if you can't keep up, your team will pay for it. But Sidney Crosby is the outlier. Being 36 in the NHL means you likely don't have the foot speed to burn guys off the rush like some of the other top players in the game. For example, McKinnon and McDavid still have the fine luxury of youth in their game, and they can individually burn a guy with their speed. Crosby has to approach things differently, and this approach is why he's on pace to score over 50 goals and have one of the most productive seasons of his career.
That Alice guy
Since he's
reacted
entered
to
the league,
also.
Crosby has dominated the game with his mind.
Forgot to pronounce his
and that
last
bodes
name.
well for an aging player. He's always had the skill to score a highlight reel goal, but he's always generated offense by understanding where the play is going to be. This has always been evident in Crosby's ability to both play make and score goals. Let's start with his goal scoring, since that is what has taken another step this season despite being 36. Crosby is on pace to hit a career high despite on being one of the league's worst power plays. Most of his goals are a result of him knowing where to be and having a surgical touch around the net. Looking at his heat map, Crosby scores 72% of his goals within 10 feet of the net. Typically, when you see guys score that many goals around the net, they're usually in front of the goalie trying to get in his vision and using their body. But again, Crosby's approach is a bit different in this area. Sid dominates the area beside either post around the net. From day one, Sidney Crosby has been using this approach, as goalies must square up to the shooter. So, Crosby stands almost right beside him, and that opens up an angle for him to tip the puck. Fast forward to the current day, and Crosby
That's a
is
snipe
still
right
using
there.
this exact move to beat goalies.
Damn.
But even when it's not a clean look for a slap pass, Crosby is still in the right spot beside the post to play cleanup. He's not afraid to use his entire body to make a play around the net either. Even though the game gets faster, the play will always end up at one spot, and that's around the net.
Okay.
Crosby understands that better than anyone, and it's why he's on pace to score 50 at 36 years old. Now that's all great, but how is he faring out off the rush where the game has become exponentially faster? Well, Crosby insists
Off
on
the rush,
slowing
what does
the
he
game
mean?
down to his pace and finding his teammate. Even when he was younger and had the ability to do it all himself, Crosby still frequently opted to wait for the play to develop and then make a pass. Fast forward to current day, and Sidney Crosby is still making these types of plays off the rush. Where other players may use their speed and attack the house for a shot, Sid leverages his teammates' speed and lets them do the legwork while he feeds them for a gorgeous pass.
Gotcha.
As he's gotten older, the Penguins and Crosby himself want faster players to enter the zone with possession, as they have the speed to back up defenders properly. However, Sid's awareness still allows him to drive the play without the puck. Watch Crosby's route here on this rush, as he could stay in the middle and receive a pass here, but then he's going to have to go in on a one-on-two essentially. That's a young man's game, and it also takes his teammate out of the play. So watch him swing in front of Gensel instead to create space for him to enter the zone. He subtly cruises in front of the Jackets defenseman, and that gives Gensel just enough space to enter the zone with possession. The result is a Penguins goal scored by Crosby himself using that signature tip-in. Looking at the expected goals per 60, Crosby's line is only trailing McDavid's for production.
Big head
At
hockey.
36, he's driving one of the most efficient lines in the NHL, and when you watch him operate in the offensive zone, it's really no surprise. His puck protection and edge work is still second to none in the league. This has always been a staple of Sidney Crosby's game all throughout his career, and it still is to this day. His wide frame,
McDavid,
combined with his low center of gravity, makes him nearly impossible to touch below the goal line and along the wall. For years, we've seen Crosby use his incredible puck protection and edge work to gain space along the wall and then find a perfect seam pass to a shooter. Shot assists are a stat that track when an immediate pass leads to a shot on goal. And this season, when 5-on-5, Crosby leads the league in this category because of his ability to thread the needle through seams. On this goal here versus Columbus, watch him win a puck battle down low below the goal line and then instantly attack the middle with a seam pass that ends up in a goal. For years, Crosby's been making these types of plays.
he losing with the plays. I'm still new to plays
and thread that needle.
Technical
what makes Crosby so fun to watch is that he's a
plays with hockey.
grinder. He's got the skill of a superstar, but the engine of a third liner, fighting for his life to stay in the lineup. The Penguins
I feel like my eyes is bloodshot red right now. Oh yeah, I know about the F1, F2, and
Their
F3.
sole job is to get body.
I know my eyes is bloodshot red, bro.
So that the F2 can come in and gain possession. Some superstars in the league aren't the best at being the F1 because it does require a calculated physicality. But Sidney Crosby is the
I gotta
gold
stand
standard.
up, man. so
Watch
I
how
don't
his
fall
pressure
asleep.
here on the Carolina D forces him to make a quick play up the boards. He knows that Crosby is a player who's going to finish his check, so he needs to move this puck instantly. That's exactly what the Penguins want, and F2 seals the wall perfectly to cause a turnover. As soon as there's a turnover, Crosby beelines it towards the net. The puck heads over to Raquel in the slot, and he makes an incredible heads-up play, knowing that Crosby is going to attack the net. This is what the skill and will looks like when you marry them together. Crosby has such an advanced knowledge of the game and where to be that he can create turnovers by simply just being in the right spot. Here, Colorado evades the Penguins' first two checkers, and that sets themselves up for a solid rush with one of the game's fastest and deadliest players,
McKinnon.
picking up
I think I did a reaction video to McKinnon.
Crosby angle him off instantly to force McKinnon to make a stop-up play. Crosby doesn't take the body or get a stick on the puck, but just by being in the right spot, he slows McKinnon down just enough for the Penguins' back pressure to cause a turnover. The Penguins turn it around, and Crosby dives right back in as the high man and scores. The speed and skill of the game may have tripled since Crosby entered the league, but very few can think the game at the speed that he does. What's amazing is that he's equally as good on the defensive side of the puck as well. Whether it's swinging low to support his D or being in the right spot to break up a play, Crosby is a force on both sides of the puck. The guy is winning 60% of his draws this year, which means that there's a great chance that the Penguins start with possession when Crosby is on the ice. And at the end of the day, the best defense is a great offense. Despite being on a mediocre team at 36 years old, Sidney Crosby is still doing his best to drag the Penguins into the playoff race. And if they do make the playoffs, there's a legitimate argument for him to be in the Hart conversation. For a guy whose prime was robbed due to serious concussion issues, Father Time would suggest that this just isn't possible.
Oh yeah, he did have a
Movement
concussion,
taking over
right?
the game, everyone's time on top eventually comes. For some it comes quick, for others it comes later, but it will always arrive. However, that day has not come for Sidney Crosby, as he remains one of the best players in the NHL at 36 years old.
This is he 37 now. This video was a year ago. Okay. Dope, man. Dope. Y'all let me know if he's a Hall of Fame to y'all. If somebody is close to Grizzly, somebody is, I heard. So let me know. I may got the wrong player. I thought it was him thought it was Sidney at first, but I'll see you on the next one, man. Y'all let me know what y'all want to see next, man. Until next time, I'm out.